From the streets to the studio, from crisis to recovery, from awareness to action. Ask the Messengers. We bring you real talk about public health, addiction and recovery, and the issues that matter most in our communities. The message is hope. The message is change. Ask the Messengers begins now. Welcome to another episode of Ask the Messengers. I am your host, Tina Nelson, and this month we are bringing you our DWIHN Partnership Series, where we are focusing on the youth programs that come through the network. Plus, personal stories from those who have overcome drug and alcohol addictions. The DWIHN Integrated Health Network provides services and support to 123,000 people in Wayne County. DWIHN serves people with mental illness, intellectual and developmental disabilities, individuals with substance use disorders, and children with serious emotional disturbance. DWIHN is the largest and most diverse community mental health agency in the state of Michigan, and it is committed to providing the highest quality of integrated health care to those it serves while working alongside its dedicated and compassionate provider network. Bianca, well, let's start with you. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what it is that you do through the youth programs for DWIHN?
Absolutely. So my name is Bianca Miles. I am the Youth Development Specialist here at DWIHN, where I oversee our Youth United initiative. Youth United is the youth-led initiative of DWIHN, where we advocate and provide positive youth opportunities for those ages 14 to 25 within our system of care. So what that may look like for us, we'll have a variety of activities. One of the most popular ones we have is our Courageous Conversations, and where we talk about a variety of topics that youth may go through or may not know any information on. So we try to capture their voice and give them also the facts behind these topics. One of the ones that we've had recently was around substance use, in which we had a Narcan training, which our Narcan training is to teach people on how to use Narcan in case of emergency, in case you see someone overdosing on opioids, and how we can prevent people from experiencing overdose. So we've had that before, along with the segue conversation into Narcan and vaping and marijuana, alcoholism amongst our youth, and how that'll affect them in the long run if they begin using those toxins at such a young age. So those are one of the things that we do. Youth United focuses on the prevention efforts, how youth can possibly cope with the stressors that they're going through without having to utilize any other negative toxins or whatever the case may be for them.
Awesome. Now, Ms. Cassandra, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is with the youth programming for DWIHN?
I'm happy to do so, Tina. My name is Cassandra Phipps, and I am the Director of Children's Initiatives with DWIHN Integrated Health Network. And what our role is at DWIHN is overseeing all of the children providers in Wayne County that provide community mental health services. So that includes children and young adults ages 0 to the age 21. And so the question might be, well, how do you serve someone that's age 0? Well, what we're referring to is pregnant moms. You know, we have an infant mental health program for pregnant moms, and to get them connected with services for age 0 to 5, and really working on attachment, between the mother and the child. We also have services from 7 to the 21st birthday. That includes outpatient therapy, home-based therapy, wraparound, some of those ancillary services like a parent support partner, a youth peer support partner, things like that. So we're really looking at youth and young adults and their family really getting help and support. So if they're struggling with, mood challenges such as anxiety or depression, or behavioral challenges such as ADHD, or, problems with law enforcement or in school, we have services geared not only for the child and youth, but for the entire family. And that's for anyone that lives in Wayne County and has Medicaid. We're happy to note that we have been expanding our services in Wayne County. We now have what we call CCBHC providers. So regardless of what county someone lives in or what insurance they have, they can still receive services. And so that's just some of our treatment programs. I do want to also note that we have other programs where we are geared towards the school systems and actually working with our providers to be located in the schools to also offer support. So they're offering screenings, they're providing trainings to the school staff and to the students on different risk factors such as trauma or bullying or anger management, suicide prevention. These are just some of the examples of where we're very inclusive and very hands-on in the services that we offer to our members.
Nice. So this year we're doing like a campaign initiative as it relates to bullying. So when it comes to substance use, drug use, Bianca, as you mentioned, like the smoking, the vaping, just using drugs in general. So I want to know from both of you, especially you, Bianca, because you touch and you see and you both talk with young people often. So, when I was growing up, we would call it peer pressure. Now they're using new term bully, bully, bully. So is there really can you help me and help our viewers understand where's that thin line? What is considered a peer pressure? What is considered a bullying? Isn't it, to me, it's all the same, but is there a thin line between those two?
I think it is a thin line between it. When I think of peer pressure and what I've heard from our youth is often when they're friends, they're people that they trust and come together with, and they're all kind of trying to see what it may look like, what it may feel like. Some may pressure them into doing it with them just so that they don't feel alone. Whereas bullying is very forceful. That's how I envision it, what I hear from our youth. And I know nowadays youth often interchange terms and may call it something a little bit more drastic than what it really is. However, that's where the thin line comes in. It's like, okay, are you doing this around your friends? Are these the people that you found the sense of trust in? And then it just didn't work out too great because we all been through peer pressuring, and we may still be friends with those folks that we may have endured peer pressuring with. However, it may have just been a simple mistake. Whereas bullying is, like I said, it's very forceful. It comes off as partly forcing them to do something to try to fit in with them, with the cool kids, when deep down inside you may not have a sense of trust with these group of people, or you may know these people as those bullies within the school who often pressure other people to do things. So that's how I define or look at it within that thin line. It can blend, it can merge. Sometimes peer pressure can lead to bullying. I have seen that as well. So it just depends on the circumstances.
Okay, Miss Cassandra, did you want to add something to that as well?
Yes, sure. And it's a great topic that you brought up because it's definitely prevalent in our communities. And that's why bullying is a risk factor that we focus on specifically in the work that we do with our school partnerships. I also want to add that bullying, now that we have social media and technology, how that's a platform now that's really exacerbating what we call bullying, right? And so, but not only that, but looking at the emotional impact, not only with the person that is acting as the bully, but then also the recipient of that, and so a lot of times when we think about bullying, really what's underneath, I like to use the iceberg model, like what's underneath the surface of that person, right? A lot of times it's insecurity. A lot of times it's low self-esteem. And how can we offer that person support and services and to really deal with what they're dealing with? And then likewise for the person that's the recipient of that, how are they internalizing that experience? It leads to more suicidal risks and self-harm behaviors and because now they're identifying themselves as whatever that person is, how that person is treating them. And so, it's definitely a topic that is needed. And the work that we do, I'm glad that with Youth United, they're going to actually be hosting an anti-bullying event. Bianca, you want to talk more about that? That's going to be coming up?
Yeah, so we are hosting an anti-bullying event. We host a few of those type of events, but we may name it differently. So upcoming, we have our Youth Mental Health Action event that'll be occurring in Lansing in partnership with the Association for Children's Mental Health, which is a statewide entity in the state of Michigan, where we will be focusing on a variety of workshops to help teach youth, clinicians, professionals, youth advocates, and more on what is going on within the state and how does your role really help us drive the revolution for youth mental health. As we all know, youth mental health or youth in general may be stigmatized or may experience like you don't know what mental health is, or you may not know what depression means or how to feel anxious, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas youth voice is very important when discussing those mental health challenges that youth may face. And our goal is to help teach youth on what does that look like? How can you advocate for yourself without coming off disrespectful? Because that's always a blurred line there too. Like, how do I stand up for myself, but I don't want to disrespect my parents or the adult that's in charge of me? So those are some of the things that we do plan to talk about at that time. We will also have representation from MDHS to talk about what they are doing at a statewide level to help continue to drive that revolution for youth mental health.
Stay tuned for more of Ask the Messengers. So, Miss Cassandra, from I guess I want to say a statistical perspective, what are some of the trends of these things that come across your desk?
Oh, that's a very good question. And a lot of what we're seeing now is more suicidal attempts,
Mm.
suicidal thoughts, suicidal plans, and it's happening in a variety of different settings. So whether it's at home or whether it's at school or and how it's happening. And then not only that, but even expanding in different age groups too. So we're seeing some situations happening even in younger children where there was suicidal attempts. And so, some of the things that we really try to emphasize when we're working, and like I keep reiterating, family system model, not just the child or the youth, but the whole family. That means we're working with the parents, we're working with siblings, and really connecting the whole family together because if we don't do that, then we're not going to get everyone on board and really trying to help children stay safe. And so we really try to emphasize having a crisis plan. If there's certain things that a youth is tended to go towards to try to hurt themselves, having that removed from the home, and really emphasizing the services that are available. We do a lot of education in the community just to bring awareness to what's available because a lot of families don't know what that help is available to them. And so we really try to emphasize that. But that's definitely a trend that we're seeing. And I'm glad that at DWIHN, we have a zero suicide initiative where we are tackling this and addressing it and really making sure that there's policies in place, but then also education. Every year our Innovation and Community Engagement Department hosts an annual suicidology conference. So I encourage you to go on our Detroit Wayne Connect website and register. That's always normally in September, which is Suicide Prevention Month. And so, but this is an area that is on a rise, and our goal is for zero suicide.
That's great. So I'm glad, DWIHN, you guys are always doing things that really meet people where they are. So that's the one thing I'm glad that Ask the Messengers and DWIHN, we have established such a strong partnership where we help you get your messages out there because they need to know, and it's very important. So I really appreciate this conversation with both of you today. This is going to be the first of many. Love to have you back on again to talk about more things because these conversations need to be had constantly, repeatedly, over and over and over again. So before I let the both of you go for today, I would like, are there any words of encouragement that you both would like to share with our viewers and anyone who may be watching right now? Either one can go first.
Go ahead.
Well, the phrase that's coming to mind is "you matter." our children matter, our teenagers matter, our young adults matter, our parents matter, our families matter. And so we care about you, and we are here for you. So, you can always give us a call to get help and support, but really kind of emphasizing that you matter. And that's why we do what we do.
Awesome.
Yes, and I would like to leave us off with that there's always hope. So there's always a resource out here for us. As I mentioned earlier, there's always someone that has experienced what you have may experience. It may look different, it may be a different time period. However, there's always hope and there's always a opportunity to get through whatever you're going through. So always reach out, look for the resources, always ask, always ask. So that's what I have.
We'll be right back with more of Ask the Messengers. Ask the Messengers, real people sharing real stories. Recovery is possible.
My clean day is October 10th, 2023. My drug of choice was crack cocaine, alcohol. I didn't come from like a rough background. I didn't come from a background of abuse or rape or molestation. I actually had a good upbringing, Christian household. And I decided to get curious on my own. So I guess one thing led to another. I was actually in cosmetology school. I had 3 months left to go. And me and my girlfriend, I was using powder cocaine, and she was smoking crack, and I didn't know. And at that time, I was pretty abstinent. I was abstinent from drugs. I was drinking alcohol though, and I kept going back to school, and I kept on bragging like I sat with the dope boys, and I didn't even, I got away from them. They had all this money. I was so proud, but she was like, "Girl, hook me up." And so anyway, I wound up being I was kind of in a bad relationship. And he hit me, and I didn't allow a man to hit me, and I moved out. And I remember with all that bragging I was doing, I was sitting with a dope boy. I gave my girl the phone number. She had got some powder. I wound up leaving my guy because he hit me. I wound up in a hotel room, and she went to cook it up. And when she was cooking up and when she went to hit it, I remember sitting on the side of my bed. And I remember looking at her, and she went to light it. And I remember myself telling myself so clearly that cocaine is cocaine, right? And I looked at her and I said, well, she had a mouthful of smoke. And I looked at her and I was like, let me hit that. And before I tried it, I knew that I would like it because I knew how much I had liked cocaine, powder cocaine. So I hit it, and I had 3 months of school. I had 3 months of school left before I graduated. And I would have been a professional cosmetologist, and I'm good at doing hair and makeup. That was my passion. But immediately, as soon as I hit crack, school was out. Everything, all bets are off.
My name is Derek Bennett. My clean date is July 4th, 2020. My drug of choice was opiates, heroin. I'm a registered nurse. I took opiates from work, morphine, fentanyl. Fentanyl was even widely known on the street. I had access to that. I also dabbled in cocaine, smoking cocaine, but it was not my drug of choice. So if it was around, I would do it, but 9 times out of 10, it was always going to be heroin as my choice. My addiction started when I was approximately 13, 14 years old. I had ran away from home and went to live with my sister. My mother knew where I was at, but still, I would always spend the night at my sister's house. At that time, she had a boyfriend that was selling drugs. I knew what it was when I got over there, and eventually he got addicted to his own product. And I had watched him so much that I knew how to mix it up and how to, put things together. So I actually took over the business and started selling the drugs and using them. One day I was curious because people would come back to this drug on a regular, continuous basis. And I was like, what is it about this stuff that makes them come back? And I could set my watch to it. So I experimented. I hit it, and it was the best feeling I ever had in my life. And that began my road to addiction. It didn't really increase significantly until I got into my teens, my late teens. At that time, I really started selling drugs on the street, and got really involved in that lifestyle. And I didn't even realize I had a habit until one day I got sick. I woke up and I was telling my friend how I was feeling. He was like, "You got a habit." And I was like, "No, that couldn't happen to me. I'm doing this recreationally, socially."
Now I own my own car. I'm a homeowner. I have a career, a real career, not just a job. I have a career. You know what I'm saying? Me and my daughter are together. I got my daughter back, and me and my daughter were back together in 5 months. You know, and it's not, change is not easy. It's like any goal is not easy. It requires work. It's just like if you go to the gym, you want to lose some weight. That's the easiest example. If you want to lose some weight, you hit the gym. When you go to the gym that first day, you leave that gym, your body be in pain. It hurts. You want to cry. I'm telling you myself. But if you just keep on going, that pain subsides. You start seeing little results. You step on that scale, you done lost a pound, right? Then you feel less pain, and you feel a little bit more confident, like, okay. And you just keep on going, and that weight starts shedding. And that's because you stayed in position. You kept going. So it's worth the work. You have to put in some work. And it's just not gonna be rainbows and bubble gum, but you have to get through the pain. You will go through pain, but it's worth it.
You have to really want help, and you have to ask for help. That's the way that it starts. If you don't ask for help, you won't get it. And it's easy. I know it seems hard now. I know what you're going through because I've gone through it. But you gotta go somewhere, and you gotta admit and ask for some help. That's the only way that you get it. And once you come into the fellowship and you get involved in the fellowship and develop relationships, it will happen. But you can't be resistant. You have to be humble and willing to learn. The definition of humility is to be teachable. And you have to come in with an open mind, and you have to want it. But if a person like me can get it, you can get it.
If you have a recovery story of your own and would like to share it right here on our show, record the video and send it to us. Our email information is right there on the screen, askthemessengers@gmail.com.
Would you like to help us save lives? You can do so by partnering with us here at Ask the Messengers by making a donation of any amount. The people in your communities need your support. Help us extend our reach and impact more lives. Supporting our organization is as easy as a click of a button. Just visit our site shown on the screen from your phone or computer, where you will see a yellow donation button. Ask the Messengers is waiting on your partnership, and your community is waiting on you.
If you prefer mailing your donations, send your check or money order payable to Ask the Messengers TV show and send it to 18400 Schaefer Highway, Detroit, Michigan 48235. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Ask the Messengers, and we're asking you to take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you to our guests today, and we hope the information shared will be of some help to you, your family, and your community. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and keep standing for what's right. See you next time, right here on Ask the Messengers.